Hi, good morning, everyone. May I get the sound test, please? I guess Daddy is not here this morning. Okay, let's hope that Danny is going to join us because I don't want to be alone here for the rest of the trading day. I will bring in my charts and hopefully Danny will join us momentarily. And then he's going to take over and I will be back, of course, for the lunch and the after lunch sessions. Hold on. We're basically opening flat today after the non-farm payroll came in disappointing on the number, but very strong on the unemployment number, which is at third or at 50-year lows. So this unemployment number is going to be. Hold on, let me bring in AMRN, although I don't know what it's doing today, but we'll wait for a move on AMRN as always in the morning. Let me see if I can bring it. No, it's not positive. So this morning we have a reversal on MNK, which was very weak yesterday. And basically I would look for a reversal in the tech sector after the 2.1 move lower yesterday. Let's be non-aggressive with the open. We're opening flat, and I don't see that many interesting moves on the top 20. One of them is Monster, maybe GILD, but to tell you the truth, I'm not very keen about entering anything now 1 minute into the opening of this trading day. We have also Tesla posted by Gil, LLY from yesterday, Amazon, of course, and of course, Costco, which is after earnings, COST cost, and it's down 3.3%. And maybe this one, once the spreads are going to tighten up, can be a trade for us later, not right now. Because right now, the spreads are kind of aggressive on this one. Okay, so let me see what I'm looking. LLY was very strong yesterday. This can be a trade for us. Don't have an entry point for it right now. Watching CGC, watching NOV, and watching ROK. What the hell's going on here? Roku, sorry. Made a mistake and posted, instead of Roku, posted ROK. And that's pretty much the stocks that I will follow here into the open. We are now, should be fully open. Let's put it this way. To the downside, we have Tesla, which is very weak, down another 3.4%. LITE. LITE is a very good mover, a bit spready right now. And the JD is weak, Baidu is weak. I'm thinking that, again, it's possible that we're going to see more weakness coming out of the Chinese stocks. Of course, BABA should be on this list as well. If I'm looking at BABA now, well, nothing impressive. On the upside, we have a couple of interesting stocks. One of them is TPX. Wow, very, very low volume and spready at this point. And let me see if I see anything with good volume and momentum. Okay, I think I see one. This is the SGH. The highs of the day are 33.50. This one looks very good over 33.50. Well, As soon as I said it looks very good over 33.50, I didn't even have time not to watch it. It broke over. Anyway, let's be, like I said, a bit cautious now into the open. Earnings that I see that are important are probably only COST, and this one is not a trade now into the open. The IPO from yesterday, GH, as you can see, started with a move lower after an amazing move yesterday. The high is 32.20 at this point. SGH is not tradable? Okay. So let me bring something else that it is tradable. Let's follow COST. Actually, if COST is crazy, AMD, I will follow AMD and AMRN. So I'm watching AMD, AMRN, Roku, CGC that moved very nicely higher, and PDD. PDD is a trade over 23.50, guys. Again, at the open, anything should be on, very, very tight entries and lower positions, because we're looking at a very unclear open, meaning flat to slightly positive. And the only stock that's opening up today after earnings is COST. PDD broke 53.50. I wasn't even close to taking this trade. Shit. Good for 15 cents stop loss and 30-cent partial if it continues higher. Let me take a look at SQ, of course. SQ. Looks good. Again, I don't see an entry point for it right now, but it looks good. The high of the day right now is 95.5. Maybe this is an entry for you now early in the morning on a small pullback. Okay, I think I have something, a small cap that has, again, not the volumes this morning, as I see on many of the gappers, are very, very low. So a low volume open. Still looking for longs at this point. Gil posted the trade on COST under 224.50. Let me post it for everybody. Again, a big mover. 224.50. You can see this 224.50 was tested a couple of times, 3 times over the last 6 minutes. You're looking at the 1 minute bars on my chart, and the stop loss, big stop loss, 224.50 stop loss to the 226. $1.50 stop loss. So be aware of this one. So we have one short play, PDD, one long play so far, and I will look for more long plays if I can find. Roku already broke higher, so it's not a trade for me at this point. Okay. I think I found one. Guys, take a look at DDD. This is, well, I won't call it a small cap, but a very good mover. Started to move 19 can be an interesting entry point. This is the high here, 19. Well, at this point with a 25-cent stop loss, so a bit aggressive. We'll wait for that. And the volume is not great. The volume is not great on DDD. PDD was a good trade over 2350. Over the highs was completely rejected, and now it's coming back to the entry. So I missed on the entry at 2350. I'm not thinking about buying it at 2380 by any means, not right now, even if it's gonna make it there. Let me check MSFT. Yeah, looks good over 113. Let me check the daily. It looks very good on the daily too. Looks good over 113. MSFT, it's it's a $100 stock, but it's not a big mover. At this point, you can trade it with 35-cent stop loss on the Microsoft. Very, very flat open for us at this point. The only stock that I seen that made a normal move was Roku, coming off the 68. Again, I wasn't fast enough and didn't pay attention for a trade on Roku, but we'll keep an eye on it later, those who like the trade. Let me see if I can find anything. Again, I'm looking for long plays right now. Vail has volume, but it's a very, very slow mover. Very, very slow. Okay. I think I have something that may be interesting. TAL, guys. TAL over 2450. That's the highs of the day. If it doesn't break under the VWAP, which is 2430 at this point, 2425, this trade is on my watch list. TAL over 2450. TAL. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one. Regarding the cost trade, it's a $200 stock, so indeed it's moving sideways and up. This trade is still viable. Still. Doesn't mean that you're going to trade it blindfold, but you need to keep an eye on the stock for a move lower. After all, it's down 3%. But it's like let's watch and see what happens here. The ATVI looks good. I like ATVI. I'm going to post it on my watch list. I'm not sure that I want to buy it over 81 without a pullback, but looks good. The target on the MSFT trade, for those who took the 113 breakout, is 30 to 40 cents. Stop loss works very good now under 112.80. So 20-cent risk, 30 to 40-cent target. That's the deal that I see right now on Microsoft. AMRN not a factor at this point. Another stock that's interesting, I don't see though an entry point for it other than the highs is this one, LLY. Yesterday it was a very big mover. Today it's gapping up. Immediately started with a $1 move in the first minutes, and now it's looking, I guess, for more. But I don't have an entry point for it other than 115.23, highs of the day. Guys, TAL, the trade over 24.50, forget about it. It's just moving lower, so ignore that idea. And okay, I think I have one. Not amazing, but looks good. 27.50 short on DLPH. Now that I'm watching, it looks very good under the lows, but it's very spready, like 10-cent spreads. Not good enough, and the volume is not also good enough. Not good enough. So waiting for this one. Maybe for an idea later. DLPH, if spreads will tighten up a little bit later. Regarding COST, again, there is not I don't see now an established trend. We started with a gap down. Then it started to move higher. The view up now, okay, so 226 is already in the back mirror for this trade. If anybody managed that with a stop over the highs, $1 stop loss, not a bad idea. But it did not establish the move lower, so it's good entry. It remains to be seen what's going to happen on this one. If it breaks 224.50, on the other hand, it already broke the trend to the upside. So I'm still going to watch COST for the 224.50 trade. And I don't see a good stop loss for it right now. AMD back to the downside. AMRN back to the downside. CGC back to the downside. And the market is moving from the highs into the range. Regarding long plays, possible, but I prefer at this point to wait with the long play, again, because the market is moving into the range. Let me bring in BABA so you can see it. And again, the daily on BABA is very, very weak. It's now looking good, over 157. I'm not a fan of this stock, you know, not a fan of a long play on this stock. Definitely not when the market is moving lower. Wow. Big, huge pullback on DDD. I wasn't expecting that. That trade on DDD was one of my favorites to go long at the open. Broke over 19, 20 cents, down $1. That's weird. Gil is posting a new trade on cost, 225 short. Just broke a split second ago. It's a very, very big mover. At least $1 stop loss and $1 target for this move. 225 short, nice initial move, Gil, on this trade. Hopefully it's going to work for everybody that took it. The target on this trade, and it now broke under the 224.50. I'm thinking, hold on a second, yeah. The target for this trade should be at least $1, and the risk to the 225.75. Many stocks that opened strong, like ATVI, big pullback. Microsoft, big pullback. DDD, big pullback. AMD, big pullback. So nothing great so far. TAL also had a big pullback. Let me see if it's still positive. It turned negative. Basically, it exhausted all its plus on the day, and it's now flat on the day. Terrible. I don't know where this one is going. Really, the daily is also, if you watch TAL on the daily, it's terrible. I still yet to trade even one position at this point. Waiting for my chance. I'm not sure that STM, hold on, let me bring it to STM, to the charts, is a good mover enough to trade. This is a stock that moves cent by cent, and every cent is a war here. The 224.50 is again in play for COST. If it's going to drop here, this support level, maybe it has a chance at the target, sorry, which is, like I said, 224. I'm hoping for Gil and everybody that joined him on this trade that you're going to reach there ASAP. Market pulling into the range, that should help cost. Should help cost, which is definitely within the partial area. Definitely between the partial area at 224, 10, 15, you know, I mean, it may get rejected from the 224. It's safe to take a partial 80 cents, then get nothing from this move. As expected. Shit. Market not doing much. We are basically in the first, closing the first half hour of trading. I did not see anything other than the COST trade that was really a good mover. ESTC, let me take a look. Light, okay, STC, I don't find it. I can't find it. LIT, very nice break here at 57. And this is goodbye for LIT. At this point, it's very extended to the downside. Broke 57, broke 56. I don't know, it was at one point a 5-cent stock. Now it's trading with spreads, but this trade is pretty much gone to the downside on a pullback. Guys, anybody that's in the cost trade and it's going to retest the 224, 20 or 10 in that ballpark, that's the partial for Gil's trade. Okay. Guys, take a look at this one and be fast. CUTR short, 23.25. CUTR short, 23.25. This is the entry. Stop loss, 23.45. So I won't have time to write it down. That's 20-cent risk on CUTR. Very good target. It's a bit spread here on low volume, so take smaller position, but it looks good enough for this trade. Under 23.25. So yeah, 23.25 short, stop loss 23.45. That's the ballpark for this trade, and I'm sure that the market is helping right now. Maybe I'll have time to write it. It didn't break yet. Not tradable? Oh, shit. Okay. So if it's not tradable, then it's not tradable. Even if those who have a normal platform cannot trade it because it's down more than 10%. So it's only for CFD traders. Anyway, let me take a look at IPGP. This is a very big mover, sits now at the lows. The problem with it is the spreads. It's very spready. I mean, a stock like that to buy at the lows, very, very risky. Very. Cannot stretch how risky it is. I will stay away from it, you know. Really, really stay away from it. Guys, again, those who missed the partial, if you're talking about COST, it's coming back down. And this area between 20 and 10 should be a very, very good partial. And stop to the entry afterwards. And thanks to Gil for this trade, really. Very, very nice move. No pullback, looks good. Hopefully will continue. Yes, COTR looked good, looked prime for a nice move, but as I've been told, it's not tradable. It's not tradable, Jason. It's not your fault or mine or anybody at this point. TPX? Hold on a second. TPX is just moving lower. I mean, terrible on the daily, not amazing on the intraday also. Guys, regarding the long play for the from the morning, PDD, it pulled back all the way to 23, and the question is what's going to happen here. I really don't know, but I will be cautious about shorting it at 23 on a day like today. It's not today, is not yesterday. Yesterday it had an amazing move. Today may be different. If anybody is liking this trade, the risk is 16 cents. So 16 cents on this trade. And like I said, I'm keeping my eyes on it actually for a long play today for a pullback, but don't see anything interesting on it right now. if anybody is looking for for a long play, the only place I will go long is this LLY play over 115.20. All other stocks, including the Nasdaq leaders, Netflix, Nvidia, Baba, even Apple, are again red. Not great. Not great by any means. Guys, if you're going to see the IPOs posted, hopefully they will be better than the ones that we've seen over the last couple of days. You're more welcome to join. I will wait for any IPO at this point. I have to say this was a weird open. Looked like a strong open, but after 10 minutes we turned around completely. DBX, let me take a look. And many stocks turned negative after a very nice open. DBX is very weak on the daily, very weak on the intraday, but I don't see an entry point for it. Really, don't see an entry point for DBX. It's at the lows, probably it's going to pull back, and the market is showing some strength right now. Trying to figure out where to go with this market, up or down. At this point, not a lot of clarity. Yeah, that's the only interesting play to the upside, LLY, that's at least on my list. 115.15. I'm really amazed to see this amazing breakdown on PDD. After the move in the morning, I would expect it to see 23 as support, dropped like 70 cents. Unbelievable to me. So anybody that trusted this trade to the downside, amazing. COST is still fighting with the support at 224, but the partial was definitely within reach. Couple of cents above 224. So those who waited. The reminder stop loss on this one can go over the view up to 25 or 5 or 6. So basically on zero risk on the reminder. And if this one takes another leg lower, it can definitely be under the lows in, I don't know, half an hour. I'm not in PDD either, so believe me, after seeing it yesterday drop, I didn't believe in a repeat. Dropped like 60 cents. That's to me, you know, all my watch list, which was positive, turned negative. All of it. AMRN, CGC, DDD, PDD, everything. Even ATVI turned sharply negative. Question, guys? The market was looking for direction. Now it looks like the direction is to the downside. And we're basically looking at a date so far that has, of course, very, very little range. And the direction continues to be same as yesterday. I'm watching AMRN. It started with a move lower, then a move up, then a move lower, then it broke under the lows, and now it's at the lows again. So it broke 1950, down to 19, back to 1950, and it's like I'm waiting for clarity where this one is going, up, down, sideways, or maybe I won't trade it at all if I don't see a lot of clarity. Okay, here is the trade for us. A bit risky, but this reversal play on CP, Canadian whatever, Pacific, okay. Canadian Pacific. Wow. $200 stock on very, very low volume. Let me check the daily. Oh, the daily is strong. The VWAP is at 223.20. The highs are at 224, so there's plenty of room here over 223. If it's going to break, I wanted to say if it's going to break over 223 with a 50-cent stop loss and a $1 target looks good, but now it's pulling back. Anyway, looks good for a long play. Right now it's the other way around and it's a bit spready anyway. ADI, of course, I can check it. I'm thinking, guys, that we've seen a fake open to the upside and we're going to see or start moving lower. Probably. ADI looks good for more downside. If you are in this trade, the daily is terribly weak and the intraday also. So it's a weak stock and I don't see a new entry point for it because it's at the lows right now. We need a stock that's moving lower that did not break under the lows. have one, this one, IIVI under 41.50. Wow, very low volume. Shit, not tradable. IGC, let me take a look. IGC, Indian whatever. That's the pot drink. So the drinking marijuana was good as a play for about 3 days and down 3 days. Shame on it. Now it's like watching this day, maybe it can continue to the downside. Usually I don't short $4 stocks, but it's possible. I'm not going to trade, not trading this type of stocks anyway. It's possible. I mean, most of them are a scam, so I won't be surprised. Nobody sees a short play. DBX is very weak, but you know the lows are 23. It already moved from 24.70, so it made a huge move. If you want to short it 23.25 with a 10-cent stop loss, not bad. That's the idea. 23.25, risk 10 cents. Maybe it's going to make it to the lows, and then you can take a partial. But to shorting it at the lows doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Yeah, the market is very slow, but where is the surprise here? It's not a surprise. The market is slow, and it's always slow. It's not like yesterday we had maybe the first market that moved in a long time. Guys, I'm going to take AMD off my watch list and bring in, let me see if there's something that's really, really strong or worth watching. Facebook today. Well, even Facebook is not that strong. LLY also pulled back. Terrible. I will be, again, voting against any long play at this point. MCHP, let's take a look. At the lows, again, like I said, we need stocks that are not at the lows to short. Any stock that's at the lows has a better chance of reversing than moving lower in this go nowhere market. Guys, if there is one sector that's worth trading to the upside today, XRT, let me see. Yeah, XRT is positive. The only sector other than banks that's positive today. And financials are positive. Other than that, everything is in the red. Semis are down 1.2. CGC over 48. I have a CGC on my watch list. I'm watching. I mean, look at this. It's in a bear flag formation. Over 48. It's a cheap entry, but I'm not sure it's a good entry. Really, you cannot vote for a stock that already traded a couple of times over 48 and was rejected. I will wait. Wait for a better setup, maybe for a better market. Not going to rush into anything. And what Digas is a gas ETF. 1624 are the highs. 1620. Let's take a look at the daily. It's coming off the lows. I don't know if this is that's inverse ETF. So this is like a short natural gas. Doesn't look bad because the risk is like 10 cents. I don't see it, however, being 20 cents. I don't see it, however, being a good mover. That's the take on it. Yeah, retail is strong, but I don't see it, strong enough to buy anything. Watching Roku for a reversal play. And look at this COST. I wanted to say a nasty word because no stocks is moving higher. This one is moving higher. Too bad. But the target was reached, at least for good partial, $1, and thanks to Gil for this trade. Sometimes you get $1 and you're not happy. This is the cause because this is a $224 stock. This should have been, maybe a move to the lows, but still $1. It's great in this market. MYL, okay, I'm going to take a look. Wow, nice trend. Very nice trend on MYL. Again, a stock that's under the lows and not a great entry point on MYL. That's a great stock to short, but I'm not sure about the entry point right now. The entry point 35.20, not a bad one. 35, actually it's there, The risk is to the 35.37. 35.37. Guys, if anybody sees an IPO coming, please post it for everybody. All I see is very, very choppy market so far. Very choppy. SQ. Still positive. SQ is still positive. Now, in this market, you need to buy very cheap to make money. So if you manage to buy here at 94 reversal, 94.10, that's your money trade. You wanna go buy here at 95. Good luck with this market, really. Although now we're moving to the upside. QNST, not a big mover, but a strong trend. I watched it. This is a $14 stock or now $15 stock trying to attempt a move. A nice move, actually. Cannot argue with that. Market is now back from the lows to the highs, so it goes into the range instead of out of the range. Meaning now you would prefer long plays than short plays. I don't have any long play right now. GE has a nice pattern, but if you watch the number, the highs are 1330. So you're going to buy 1322. It's going to take it some time to make it to 1330, if at all. This is like a small cap multiply trade. Don't trust it, really. Don't trust it to do anything. Very, very slow mover. I mean, the trend is perfect. Move up, bull flag formation, but for it to make 10 cents, I don't know. Let's put it this way. Long plays on patterns like GE, yes. Long plays on GE, I don't think so. Yeah, CGC, again, you need to watch CGC all the time. 4820 was under my nose. I was contemplating to trade it at 4820. Still, I'm looking for a better trade. This one looks great to me right now. HSIC over 80, over 90. The volume though is very light volume, and as you can see, the market is not great, but the stock is very strong. HSIC over 90. Yeah, I agree. DBX reversal to the downside now with a VWAP stop loss doesn't look bad, Gabriel. Down from 2350 looks good. And you see people are listening to you. As soon as you posted the trade, down, down it went. One good thing about DBX is this: there's clarity. The daily is terrible, and the intraday is terrible. So you have one plus one. You have a terrible stock that trades in one direction. At this point, downside. Okay, this is the price you pay when you don't follow stock all the time. We were looking to buy this one, CP over 223.10. Look at the reversal and the very nice play at 222. So instead of buying at 223.10, smart money bought at 222. Took profits at 223, and now the stock is 50 cents lower. Again, not a big move, a big mover on very low volume though. Right now I have basically, uh, well, I don't want to say zero ideas to the upside, but not that many. Nice trade on DBX, Gabriel. Very, very nice. Guys, look at the daily on Twitter. If you look at the daily, you know that you cannot trust the stock on a move higher from the highs. You may take it at the lows, and that's good. But to take it over 29, I'm not thinking this is a good idea, really. Look at the daily. Daily is pure and simple, horrible. The stock hasn't been doing anything in a month now. CGC is not a trade, not right now, maybe later. I'm watching it, but don't see anything. Wow, this is a challenging, let's call it challenging. Whenever you have problems, you want to use a nice language, you call it challenging. MYL was great. I did not pay attention to it. Don't remember where you called it. I think 35.25. So it was good. Not great, but good. GE was also good. 1 cent move. 13.22, 13.23. And 4 cents to the downside. This is really an awful stock to trade. Not a stock, I'm not talking about, swinging, but to trade intraday, terrible. So guys, if you want me to look at anything, I have time. Still trying to figure out what the market is doing. We are trading, let's see, 289.80, 289.30, like a 50-cent range at this point. Netflix, it's the chart is not clear. I mean, it looks good for the upside over the view up. Looks good for the downside under the low. So you don't know where it's going. The only thing that you know that it's not great on the daily and not great on the intraday. So you would prefer a short play on it. But it's gonna probably move like the market. It has no like special strength today or weakness. PDD under 22. Let's put it this way. It was a short that I didn't believe that it will work under 23. Now it's at 22 and it looks, like it's under the lows of yesterday after starting with a big gap up. What can I tell you? It looks very extended, yet it worked magically today to the downside. Maybe there's more room to it. Definitely, that's not a lot of risk to it, but it can and will probably find buyers because it's jumpy. So you miss the 23, you miss the 22.50. I'm not sure about the 22. I mean, look at the stop loss now, at least 30 cents. Maybe you need to let it go this time. Yeah, it has short selling restrictions, but those who trade CFDs don't care about that. So short selling is not anything that has to do with it. Has nothing to do with CFDs. SGH looks very good over 35. It's a bit spready though. Very spready. Well, actually not very spready, but over 35 it looks good. Let me check the daily. Wow. Amazing daily. Amazing daily. Huge seller though at 85. Sorry, at 35. Let's watch it. If this one breaks 35, it's going to be a big surprise because there is like a dozen, I don't know, huge amount of sellers at 35. They don't show up yet. Now they see. You see that like 20,000 or something? I doubt it. I doubt it if you can trade it before. It's not tradable again on the CFD platform, guys? Okay, so. The daily is amazing. This is one of the best patterns that I like, where you see a huge gap up, big pickup in volume, and also a very nice trend. Guys, if anybody is going to see an IPO posted, please, please let us know ASAP. MU. Hold on. MU. Yeah, MU is, as always, problematic on breakdowns, kind of better on reversals from the VWAP. Again, a very good VWAP reversal here. Not a big mover, I'm guessing. Look at the range today. more like yesterday's. Looks good to the downside. Doesn't look good to the upside at all. So what do we have on the agenda? CGC, no. LLY, no. AMRN, unclear, and Roku, unclear. Light under 55. It's just under 55 right now. This is LITE. Not very spready, but uncomfortable to trade. 10-cent spreads. If you got in under 55, I'm hoping that this one can, it has a huge target to the 54. And the market is moving lower, so maybe this one can help. This is like horrible. This day so far, look at the price action today, guys. We are within yesterday's range, dead within the yesterday's range on no volume, no trend, and this is not a good move on non-farm payrolls Friday. Okay, Tesla. You guys are drawn to Tesla like, I don't know. Wow, down 5%. Again, the viewer play works time and time and again, and nobody points viewer play. Everybody's going here to short at the lows. That's not a good idea. Even if it breaks, the viewer plays are good ideas. Yeah, LIT, amazing trade. LIT, amazing. Very nice. 55 risk, 16, 17 cents, now 50 cents in the money. Take a partial. Take the partial, and this is great. Good for you. it has also, a very big target. The stock is down 8.4. It was almost 10% to the downside. Market is coming off the lows right now. Actually, the lows of the pre-market. Okay, I think I have a stock that's worth watching to the upside, and this is SERV. SERV. Again, it's at the highs, but I'm not going to buy it now. I'm going to look for a potential reversal, and this is how it looks on the daily. The volume is, what the hell? SCRV is, okay, I mean, I'm thinking this is a split, not not a move lower of, I don't know, 30% or something. I'm thinking. If anybody knows, please let me know. I don't have time to check right now on SCRV, but watching CDEV, let's take a look. I like the stock. I used to trade it. Eh, too bad. I mean, very weak today, coming off the highs of the year yesterday, but again, at the lows in a bear flag formation, not not my cup of tea. Guys, if anybody sees anything interesting, you're more than uh, you're more than happy. I will be more than happy to see it. All the stocks that I'm watching are just plain choppy across the board. PDD continues to be stuck here at the 22 with those, big moves up, but anybody that if it's going to start, leveling here above the 22, Although it looks very like a very late entry, it's maybe another leg down. IPO, which one, Matthew? OCCI? Well, let's put it this way, guys. We need an IPO that's not symboled OCCI. We need something like Power or Buy Me or something like that. OCCI sounded terrible from the beginning. I haven't seen, maybe there was, I haven't seen a good move to the upside. Haven't seen even one. CGNX, amazing move to the downside. It's good for to watch on a reversal play, really. CGNX, very strong stock on the daily. Maybe first the leg down, but no entry. You cannot short it here, and you don't want to buy weakness. Although if at all the risk is to the downside. So this one may pull back a lot, but not gonna trade it right now. CGNX. Yes, Chef is very spready. Um, ADSK. Let's check it out. I mean, looks good over 153. Big stop loss. Like I said, I cannot trust anything to the upside. Really, zero. I have zero trust for long plays. I need to change my setup here. CGC is gonna stay. AMRN. I want to bring in MNK, guys. Look at this MNK. Remember yesterday it was a disaster play. Today it looks, healthy. Let's watch MNK. Guys, those who took PDD, okay, it dropped nicely. I won't trust it, but the bear flag was perfect under 24, under 22. So if you can get 20 to 30 cents for a partial, that can be great. Now the support is 21.81, and it looks like it can break it. So it was worth definitely the, I don't know, 8-cent risk. So a 25 to 30 cent partial would be a good idea. Don't wait too much because the entry is terrible. I mean, very, very late. Just watch the bid and the bid and the ask. I mean, you know where the power is on the side of the sellers when the spread is 1 cent and the market is also moving lower. Still, it's not a, it's a late, it was a late entry. Let me take a look at CLDR. CLDR, again moving lower after yesterday's gap up, 1850 short. No, it looks still, it looks like a downside move, but it's not a good mover or not a big mover. If anybody's looking for long plays, guys, at this point, wait. The market is at the lows, not doing much, and I don't see anything great that cannot wait. Let me take a look at WB. Chinese internet stocks are again victimized by the market. PDD is victimized. WB broke under the lows. I'm not watching JD because it's not a good mover anymore, but it's at the lows. Momo, hold on a second. I want to check Momo. Actually, Momo is trending sideways. As soon as the market is going to pick up more downside, we're going to see something interesting here. But the market is trending lower in a very, very slow pace. Very slow. Wow, look at the SGH, guys. Rejected by the 35, down under the 33.50. That's nasty. DBX changed course now to the upside after breaking down from the 2350 back to the 2350, and now it's to me it's in no man's land. I mean, most of the time you don't want to buy weakness. This is what's happening here, and it stopped moving lower. Basically, the time frame for a good move was this 20-minute time frame, and that was probably it. The market is not weak. The market is dramatized by was dramatized yesterday, and now it's not doing anything. Maybe the move yesterday was too much. I don't know what happened. Um, the volumes are, I don't want to say miserable, but why is the CBOE moving up? Can anybody explain it to me? 2% on a day like today. Weird. This is something that should not move up, but it's at the highs and moving, very slowly. But anybody thinks that they're going to sell more futures in this market? I really don't know. I don't think so. Market drifting lower. If anybody has a trade for us, guys, Baba, let's take a look. The only entry that I see that's close by on Baba with this market is 154. And then a huge stop loss to the 154, I don't know, maybe 50, maybe 70. And the market being at the lows, the chances are that we're going to see a pullback. Timing is not great. Now, if I'm watching this chart, very hard for me even to see a good entry point. And again, the only place where I see it, and you should start seeing it, the VWAP, guys. The stocks touch the VWAP and they reverse like crazy. It happens more than you can expect. The only question is I have, why is CBOE moving up? And I have no answer. Anyway, back to Baba and Apple and all those others. They're all trading exactly with the market. So the market moves lower, Apple, Baba, and everything moves lower. Very hard to see though interesting entry points on them. Very hard. Let's take a look at Lulu. Very low volume. Very low volume on Lulu. Broke now like 30 cents under the lows, but the stock is trading like 200,000 shares. It's terrible. Terrible to trade. I mean, the direction is clear, but it's terrible to trade right now. Not only because of the spreads. CME was guys an amazing entry point here, 97.26. Now, can you trust this market for a stock to move higher? You cannot, really. And there is probably some news here. I mean, there is some pickup in volume, as you can see. Huge pickup in volume. Anyway, if anybody has an IPO, guys, that you want me to look at, and it's not something that's going to put us to sleep, ALT, okay, let's take a look. ALT. Wow, what the hell is that? Looks like a a biotech stock that's on fire. I will definitely think that 6 for this stock, 6 for a move into the gap can be interesting. The volume is good, but you want it to establish, and this is how it looks on the intraday. You want it to establish a high and test it, come back and test it. So do the normal, sorry, do the normal, um, basically the normal trend. So up, down, and then break. And now it's, the established high is 585. The daily is scary, the stock is running up on news and dying on news. So this has to do with some, negative results a couple of weeks ago, and maybe some positives today. I was prepared for Roku for a long play, not for a short play. And guys, if you look at Roku, talking about Roku. This is the daily on Roku. So yesterday, it had basically its first day down, and today it opened with a gap up and a move higher. It still looks very strong on the daily, very, very strong. Obviously, those who traded PDD, I wasn't amongst them. Great move on, well, not great, good move on the 22, retest of the 22. So the 6 or 7 cent stop loss was great. And back to the 70s, this is good. This 25 cents now, or 20 before there were 30, that's very good for a power show. Guys, don't buy anything. The reason why I did not post this trade, although it moved amazingly well, CBOE over this amazing trade, is that I didn't trust it. I mean, how can you trust a stock to move exactly to the upside when it has a terrible daily and the market is moving lower? You cannot trust it. You know what about Chef? I was looking to buy this breakout, 37.80. It failed. Then it broke over 38, and now it's at 38.90. How can you trust it in this market to go long? You cannot. And not to mention the spread. It looked pretty spread to me, but the target, the entry at 37.8 was amazingly clear. And it basically failed. It moved back like 40 cents, 30 cents. Then it moved over 38, and then it picked up some volume, exactly as you can see. You can see from the chart, guys. The pickup in volume came at 38, maybe 38 or 5 or something like that, I don't know. And can anybody, go with this one? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay, Netflix is needless to say that the break at 352 on Netflix was a successful one. I'm going to go back now to 2-minute bars, guy. We are an hour and almost 2 hours into the trading day. Enough with the 1-minute bars. I'm going back to 2-minute bars and see where we continue from here. Willis, what stock you talking about? CMG? CMG to me is not tradable. Zero volume and 50-cent spread. It's not like something I want to trade. Tesla? Okay, sorry. Tesla. What the hell? Coming off the lows now, you need to be brave to bet on Tesla with this terrible daily to buy it at the lows. I mean, anybody that bought at the lows 4 days in a row lost money. Anybody that bought into Tesla lately lost money. This is like a troublesome stock that has a lot of bad news priced in it, alongside I don't know, millions of shares short and a CEO that's probably not very clear in its mind, and it's not going. Things are not going well with this stock, really. I mean, I was thinking at one point that that it's going to be, like a huge success, but the way it's been managed, I don't know. Every day you hear on CN or you read on CNBC bad news, bad news, bad news, and that adds up. Like I know how people are thinking about the new Steve Jobs. People don't like a wise guy or wiseness or whatever. Anyway, it's AMRN. It's nothing that you want to deal with today. It's probably the first day where it has no volume and no trend, and it's now in waiting for clarity. I will step out of trading it today. Maybe over the highs 2020. I mean, at this point, I'm watching it, but I don't see anything. Well, he's the Steve Jobs of cars. And, I mean, the way he's testing everybody and just I'm reading CNBC every day. There's not goes one day without a bad, without something, bad about the company, about him, about the SEC, about, it's like a lot of bad publicity. At one point, it's going to break. I guess. I'm amazed by PDD, guys. I have to tell you. To see the 23 take a $1 move and still no buyers after yesterday's big move lower, and what happened in the morning, it's like somebody made a big mistake rushing into PDD in the morning and thinking it was cheap after yesterday huge sell-off, and watching the support on the VWAP and the daily, and the short sellers and the sellers killed it. I mean, it's near term, it continues to look bad. Guys, for a long play, this stock, HSIC, despite the low volume, is an interesting play. I'm watching it, but I don't have an entry point for it. But that's maybe the only play that I'm looking to buy long at this point. Oh, age. Oh, age. I don't see such a stock. CPRT, let's take a look. Wow. But wow doesn't cut the cut the deal. I mean, you watch. Let's say you watch the chart, okay? What? How can you take this trade? You cannot, because if you're watching this chart and you're watching the daily, a long play is not on your mind. What's on your mind here is shorting it here at 52 with a VWAP stop loss. And a long play here on whatever news, you have a zero chance of getting long on this move, zero. So that's a stock that should be watched on a move sideways. Guys, if there are IPOs that are interesting, I don't have enough time to watch them, but if there are, just post them. Yeah, everybody's going to be back. All the account managers, Bayer, Scott, everybody's going to be back from their vacation on Monday. And I really need them back because my throat is not built up for talking too much. Think about it. I'm also talking in the morning for the Forex session, and that's like a bit too much. Anyway, let's look at trades. Oh, shit. Which one? ERI? ERI? Wow, very nice trend, first of all, Eldorado Resorts. Big sell-off day, the stock is like down big time intraday. Volume is not great. The volume, actually, now I see the problem. It's like low volume and spready, and it is at the lows. Wait for a pullback. You cannot short it here or buy it here. You need to wait for a pullback, and even then, you need to be very cautious with this one. SWKS, let's take a look. No, you cannot short it at the lows. You need at least a cap formation like this one, a round number cap formation and a decent stop loss. So you short 89, you have 89.44. But at least you have a cap and formation, not even a cap and handle formation. Now you don't have anything. You're just $1 below, no cap. The stop loss is only 30 cents, but there is no formation. I mean, you need to be lucky on this trade. It's not a trade. It's like luck. If the market will continue lower, okay, this one is going to make money for you. Maybe. If the market is going to pull back slightly, you're going to see a pullback here. Market is at the lows, very, very slowly and pointing lower. I still haven't abandoned my only long play, which is this one on HSIC, but not going to post a long play when the market is moving lower. Guys, look at it, for example, at this trade. IPGP down big time today. Not a big range day, but look at this formation under 137.75. You have a cup and handle formation, and look at the handle. So the handle is like between 138.25 and 138. This is amazingly tight for such a stock. So this is a short under 138 with the 30-cent stop loss. This is the tradable one. And this one went for more than $1. This is the type of trades that we should look for. I see plenty of short movers. I don't see any long movers. Yeah, LLY is coming off the lows. Again, rejected at the highs, the buyers are coming in cheap. They think the stock is worth buying. Look at the daily, but they are not going to buy any breakout. Nobody's buying breakout. Nobody's buying breakouts in this market. The only breakout that I've seen that worked was this one, and this was like I think 1 in 100 today on CVOE over the highs. All other trades are highly unlikely to work. Wow, this is a big one. Wow. Guys, be very careful with this one. It established a high of 71. Very, very big mover. ESTC, wow. This is like, this is an elephant. I'm not going to trade it in the first 2 minutes, but and definitely not with those spreads, but maybe there's a chance for a multiple trade move. It can be here on this one. The highs are 71.9, though it's very spready. It's not for any trader that at this point. Nobody's going to trade it in its right mind with 50-cent spreads. Even if you're new or you are not new. I'm trading 15 years. I'm not going to trade it with 50-cent spreads. It's crazy. I'm not going to buy the highs. The highs are 72. There's still plenty of time in this. This is like the third minute bar that we see now, but it's to me it's untradeable. Let's come back to it later. And if at all, guys, wow, it's up 100%. That's insane. IQ is not doing anything at all. It's like dead. Dead at the lows of the year, dead intraday. It's like unclear. You don't want to trade it. SFIX, I've been watching SFIX all day and missed on the good trade, which was here, 26.50. Maybe it's going to be as weak as PDD. I mean, the stock lost 60% from its value in the last week or something like that. 26 short looks extended, really. Really looks extended, but wait and check on it. If you're gonna see a bear flag formation forming above 26, maybe you can short it. The same thing happened with PDD and it worked like 30 cents. On one hand, the STC can move $5 in 2 minutes. On the other hand, it can also drop $5 in a couple of minutes. This is really something. This stock. This stock is gonna make people rich or poor today. There's not gonna be middle ground for this one. And let's take a look at Tesla. Yeah, Tesla rejected the move up. Now at the lows again. 267 would have been, I don't know. I want to say the 267 would have been a good entry point, but the trend is to the downside, but I don't know if 267 would have been a good entry point. Definitely with the way it's trading right now. Guys, don't trade the STC. It's mega mover on mega spreads and wait. Maybe we will trade it later. Maybe. That's a big question mark. CRM has a trend to the downside, but not an entry point. And the reason why it's not easy to figure out what entry points is that the market is moving slowly and keeping the trend to the downside. So we don't have the reversals to go with and look for a better entry point. So the way the market is trading right now, all the stocks are gonna, most of them are gonna trend slowly to the downside, and picking up the lows won't be easy. That's why I didn't see any, for example, entry point or clear entry point on Baba. And this 154 looked very extended because it depends solely on the market. And any pullback in the market, you know what's going to happen. So that's why you cannot enter the lows. You need to enter pullbacks. We turned definitely negative today again. SPY down 0.6 after opening flat, and the Qs 1.2 to the 1.3 now to the downside. SQ is not getting hammered. The Nasdaq is getting hammered, and SQ is part of the Nasdaq, so that's the deal. PDI selling, however, again, very low volume and big spreads, relative big spreads. I don't have anything. Okay, finally one. I think Amir talked about this one yesterday, or Danny, sorry, Danny talked about this one, this breakdown under 20 on NWL. And it broke yesterday for a couple of cents. Look what happened today. Again, it's very extended to the downside. If anybody would have remembered this one this morning, that was a great move. Too bad Danny's not here today. He would have reminded us. But I remember him talking about this 20 short play on NWL. The market is very extended. I will wait for new plays, guys. Missed couple of entry points to the downside. Not going to enter in this market where it's, we're moving lower, but I'm not going to enter. I will wait for a pullback. And again, guys, look at the STC. Anybody that would have traded the STC today would have lost money, I can guarantee 100%. The only place that I can see now a trade is 70, and this one maybe it's gonna go sharply lower, and it's very spready and crazy. Very tough trade. This is like not easier than TLRY, believe me. This is TLRY basically. Usually we don't short IPOs, and I'm not sure that this one is even tradable on the platform right now. Guys, is this tradable or not tradable? No? Even better, believe me, it's even better. AMRN, again, guys, look at AMRN. You are with me on this trade from the morning. I'm watching it all day. It's just not doing anything. A short is 1920. If you want the breakdown point on AMRN, maybe here, the tested 1920. And a long play, maybe over 20. So it's now chopping around, not doing anything. And the daily is the same. Look at the daily. So that's why I'm still sticking to the chart, hoping that I will trade it at one point. I'm waiting. I'm not. I had basically two trades today. That's it. Usually I trade by this time at least 5 to sometimes 8 or 10, depends. But today I'm also, answering questions and not very happy with this market at this point, although the trend is clear to the downside. Well, not IPOs are scary, but I have to say that we haven't seen a long while such a big mover like this one, ESTC. Maybe since what was the symbol? Spotify. Yeah, Light. I don't remember who posted it. I think it was Ajinka, or don't remember who posted this 55 short play on Light. Worked like a charm. 50 cents or more retest exactly to the 55. So anybody that followed could have entered again. And now $1 to the downside. Now I was contemplating to post it at 54, but cannot trust it. If it doesn't work at 54, you feel stupid not entering at 55. It's not like the market is that weak. Guys, PDD, new lows. The market is at new lows. Basically, we broke under yesterday's lows and we look terrible. ARY is terrible, but there is no entry point. It started to move lower at 14.80. Now it's $1 in the money. Where would you enter? If you miss the 14.80, there's no entry point anymore. It just dives down without any pullback. A stock that has had a pullback, where is it? Not this one. Hold on a second. Sorry, I missed it. Okay, this one, ACOR, very nice pullback. Now, is this stock now a short play or a long play? We'll wait, but I'm watching this one here at 1735 or 1730 or the VWAP. So this is the type of stock that now, at least if it's going to come back lower, I know how to deal with it. Not going to short it at the lows. The VWAP would have been a great entry point, but it's moving higher. So ACOR is on my watch list for a short play. Anything that made a reversal. Wow, guys, look at this one. PCI. Wow. Again, no entry point. ACOR under 1735